Are you ready to supercharge your Facebook ad campaign? Want to unlock the secret to maximizing results while actually minimizing your efforts? Buckle up, because we're about to take an exciting ride into automated rules. And that's not all, because at the end of this, we're going to deep dive into an advanced application of these rules so that you never have to optimize your ads ever again. You will tap into compounding interest in data quality and basically massively improve the quality and volume of people coming to your site by not lifting a finger ever again. So hold on to your seats and get ready for a Facebook advertising revolution that will blow your mind. Get ready to make way more money by working less. This is gonna be great. And before we get started, because this is gonna be huge, don't forget to smash the button down there, hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell so make sure that you don't miss anything else. And if you're listening onto a podcast, make sure that you don't miss out on any future ones by hitting that subscribe button. Okay, this is gonna be super fun. Free is good. Free that makes money is even better. Now, we all know that ROAS is trash. The golden goose here, as it were, is CPA or CAC. And every channel basically has its own version. And every attribution model within that channel also has its own version. So let's just start with the best and hopefully most common attribution model for 99% of stores out there: 7-day click, 1-day view. Yeah, I know, hot take, right? 7-day click, 1-day view, best attribution model. Let's get into why. So this is really built on the premise of, what's our target CPA? And if we're more efficient than that on a consistent basis over a significant period of time, why aren't we spending more? You do this all the time by yourself, and probably way too much. So let's get the machine to do it so that you never have to touch budgets ever again. So how do we do it? Well, it's a simple process. First, you got to identify your target CPA. According to that attribution model and your omnichannel media mix, what does your Facebook CPA need to be for you to be successful? So let's say our target CPA is $50. We want a little bit of wiggle room. By the time that CPA gets to like 48, maybe we don't increase the budget because things could get worse. And we know if we don't touch anything, they're gonna get better. So we don't need to eat up all of the margin with which we can profitably scale. So now we're gonna set up an automated rule. Now, when we're building this automated rule, we want this to apply to wherever we're setting the budget, which of course should be the campaign level. And one of the things that I like to do here, by the way, is say that the campaign name needs to contain a certain string of characters so that we only allow campaigns with perhaps #PGS to have the rule applied. That way we can apply this rule to every campaign, but it won't actually apply to anything that we don't want it to. So now we're gonna be reasonable. We're gonna say if our CPA over the last 7 days is less than 48, let's push the budget by 5%. Now also, we don't ever want to do this on back-to-back days, so let's make it happen on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at midnight. Now, that's a starting place. We're obviously gonna have to monitor this and adjust it a little bit to get started, but we can basically write this rule down on a sticky note and follow it for the rest of the time we're running this business until we improve our PSM and ultimately allow ourselves to have a higher allowable CPA because we've improved the business model. Now remember, the goal of performance gate scaling is to automatically adjust the budgets of your campaigns. And this basically eliminates the need for you to manually make any adjustments and will massively improve your efficiency. And as you begin to scale your budgets on Facebook, you're also going to see other areas of opportunity for scaling your efficiency on other platforms besides Facebook, which will ultimately allow you to massively improve your unit economics and improve the volume at which you are testing without having to change the type of customer that you're bringing into your store. Basically, you're not gonna have to try to change your ads, your audiences, your bidding models, or the next hack or offer because everything's already working on the same piece. If you're scaling your Facebook budget by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, why aren't you touching your search? I was on a call with somebody today where their Facebook budget with performance gate scaling had risen from $2,000 a day to $4,500 a day. And they said, man, my CPA blended is just getting terrible. And I said, well, what happened with Google? And they said, well, we haven't touched it. Why not? You have more than doubled the opportunity for a more efficient platform to bring bring in more efficient sales. This is one of the reasons why we don't use cost caps, right? Because they'll destroy this unit economics that requires a stable funnel. Now instead we're scaling where there's opportunity, and as we create opportunity, we're not forgetting to maximize it elsewhere, and we're going to keep the front end of our business stable. Never optimize your ads ever again. Are you tired of constantly adjusting your ad campaigns? Imagine a tool that would do it for you, optimizing your ads for maximum efficiency and scaling your campaigns automatically without even touching the budget. Welcome to the future of advertising with the Auto Optimizer, where your ad spend works smarter, not harder, and you make more money without having to spend any extra shekels. Remember, the goal of the Auto Optimizer is to adjust your ad campaigns to improve your performance, reducing the need for manual adjustments and improving your efficiency. Sound familiar? Let's get into how this works. The Auto Optimizer will only evaluate ads that you've designated as being eligible. Now, the way that we do this is, again, by including specific characters in the ad name. Now, the Auto Optimizer is going to turn some ads off and turn some ads back on. And if we want ads to never get turned on again, well, we can denote that in the ad name and make sure that the part of the rule that turns ads back on won't apply to any ad that has a specific string of characters. In my ad accounts, I usually just put in #kill. Works every time. Now what this means is not every ad in that ad set will be eligible for spend, and even more importantly, some will be eligible, but not all of them will be active. So while our optimal mix should be 4 to 6 ads inside of our control environment, we might have as many as 8 or 10, knowing that not every single one of them will be eligible for spend, and that is part of the trick. So now let's evaluate the ads. So let's set up a performance check. Let's say over the last 7 days, our target CPA is still $50, but this ad is coming in at a 60. Well, let's turn it off. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be turned off forever. Now, that's only part of it. We also need to make sure that we have a rule to turn our ads back on. So if our ad that doesn't have that #kill in the name has spent below a certain amount over the last 7 days, let's turn it back on. Let's say in this case it's $50. So the performance check is looking for ads with a CPA over 60. Now, we also need to make sure that it's spent a considerable amount of money. So let's not apply that rule to any ad that's spent less than, say, $500. Now, when an ad hits $500, if it's not getting at least a 60 or better CPA, it's gonna be turned off until the last 7 day spend drops below $50. And then it'll get turned back on and it'll cycle through. Basically what's happening here is an Auto Optimizer evaluation process, where the Auto Optimizer turns ads off that aren't performing well lately and allows them to come back on when what they've spent lately is below a certain threshold. Now, one big rule is we don't apply this to our dynamic creative tests because they generally are far more hyperbolic, they are far less stable, and ultimately, we don't know how they'll perform. We're only applying this to our control ads when we know the allowable threshold of spend and CPA. Now, the beauty of this is that the Auto Optimizer will continuously improve because the ads that stay below that threshold continue to get more spent, and the ads that don't get turned off, which means the ads that do scale even without you spending more money, because the spend is split up in fewer places. Everybody gets a bigger piece of the pie. And ultimately, this means that the best ads based on what's good for your business ultimately represent a higher share of the spend, which means those ads and the customer journeys they drive represent a higher portion of the traffic to your store. And ultimately, this means all of your after the click testing gets way more effective a lot faster. Hey guys, real quick, if you want to learn my SOPs and my frameworks for success on how I've been building brands on the back of Facebook ads for the better part of a decade to 8 and 9-figure exits and driving over $1 billion with a better than 90% success rate with my own brands, my own clients, and my students around the world, down below you'll see a link to the Facebook Ads MBA program. Check it out. There is quite literally no better investment you could make in mastering the world's easiest and most fun advertising platform, where honestly, about 98% of people have no idea what they're doing. This is your unfair advantage, and it will last for years. All right, that being said, let's get to the super fun part. Are you ready to take your ad campaigns to the next level? Let's dive into the secret of maximizing your ad spend and wildly ramping up the rate of how these rules can work by doing a little bit of a tweak and then combining them together. This is the secret sauce, and I'm super excited to get to share it with you because why not? You deserve more success and less stress. So stay tuned to understand how to unlock the data-driven optimization that works pretty much every single time, unless your business doesn't work to begin with. Let's get super sexy and get there even faster. All right, the advanced version of performance gate scaling requires no extra technique or budget, but is a little bit more complicated. Here what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna set our budget a little bit over pace. We're still gonna need that efficiency checkpoint, but now we're gonna have a budget threshold where we are evaluating our performance intraday. What we're gonna need to understand is, let's say we're spending 75-80% of our budget. How many conversions should we have? What should our CPA be around 7-8 o'clock at night? Because remember, Facebook more or less spends evenly. And by that I mean every single day it more or less spends roughly the same amount by the same hour. You can actually index your spend by hour by going to your ad account, hit delivery, time, zone for the ad account, and do this homework for yourself. So let's say what happens by 6 p.m. That would be 75% of your budget. Or 8 p.m., which is 80% of your budget. Where should we expect to be? And ultimately what we're gonna do here is increase the spend to where it's good by removing options where it's bad based on these thresholds. So let's do an example here. Say my budget is $1,000 and my target CPA is $50. Well, by 6 p.m., roughly $750 spent, I'm pretty certain I should be at least 12 conversions. If I'm not, then I would know I would need more than 8 sales the last $250 spent. If my target is 50, I know that in the last 25% of my spend, I would need to be at better than a $30 CPA. Is that gonna happen? No. So in this case, let's just stop spending bad money. Now the real trick here is when you combine the advanced performance gate scaling where you overpace with the normal performance gate scaling about the budget increases and the advanced optimizers. When you put that stew together, the recipe makes chocolate cake. And here are the real big benefits. Number one, improved efficiency. You are auto-optimizing the allocation of your budget only to the most successful and efficient ads. We have an automatic optimization based on data, which eliminates the need for manual operation and guesswork and, let's be fair, human error at a pretty decent scale. You're gonna get increased ad performance without lifting a finger because you're focusing your spend on your top performing ads, which means not only are your best ads getting more spend, so your CPA is coming down, but because they're getting more spend, because they're getting more data, they're going to be more stable and represent a larger share of the spend of your overall day and week and month and year, which means the types of customers that they bring to your store are going to represent a larger population of the overall customer base. And if those are the best ones and you know how they behave, cash flow projections and inventory concerns and ultimately scaling your budget becomes something that is insanely easier than any clown trying to tell you to use cost caps or lookalikes or retargeting or test a bunch of offers or test a bunch of ads will ever be able to do for you. We also get savings and cost control. You're gonna get better control over your ad spend. And this will maximize the impact of your advertising investment. Remember, cost caps and Advantage Plus basically focuses wherever they can get the cheap sales, which is generally far less incremental. When you're doing this at broad and you're saying, hey, look, as long as you're good, I'll even let you spend a little bit more, knowing that on days that are bad, you're gonna spend a little bit less. And that spend is only going to the ads that performed well for you lately, and you're auto-cycling through all of those ads, so it's a dynamic environment, which also helps prevent some sort of ad fatigue and basically make sure that the best ads you have get the most amount of spend over time and your system gets smarter and smarter and smarter. You're also gonna save time and resources because now you don't have to ever worry about optimizing your ads again. You never have to touch budgets. And if you do literally nothing, the machine's gonna get better, not just because of the machine learning environment, but because you're putting your thumb on the scale and screening where that spend goes so that the machine learning environment doesn't just do what it wants. You're setting up guardrails to not even let it make nearly as many mistakes and to amplify the wins that it gets, which means it's gonna get better faster. The TLDR here is basically continuous improvement with less work to make more money. When you combine these techniques, this will facilitate better results for your bottom line and ultimately give you a more stable front end so you can work on the business instead of in the ad account. And basically what you have here is compounding interest of data integrity to improve the volume and the quality of traffic coming to your store in a way that automatically self-adjusts and optimizes and even scales without you needing to lift a finger, and actually will do better than if you were in there meddling around with things that honestly aren't worth your time. The only thing you're gonna need to do is figure out what new DCTs to launch, and if you don't know what to go about there, check out the 4PI analysis video to make sure you know exactly how Facebook is using your ads even at broad. So you know what is a retargeting ad, what is a prospecting ad, what's doing better, what's doing worse, what do I need to improve, what's my weakest link, and if I can make my weakest link stronger, everybody gets better and I make way more money. And the best part about all of this is it's completely free. You already have it in Facebook in a way that you can trust, where it's gonna work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And it's only ever gonna do what you ask it to. And it's gonna check its work every 30 minutes for $0. Why are you working so hard? All right, if you found this useful, please don't forget to like this and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast, give me 5 stars, give me a review. Tell the platforms that you love it by giving them the actions that show that you care. Down below, you will see links to the Facebook Ads MBA program, into Disruptor School, also my free Facebook group and newsletter, and a million other things. There's some goodies down there, a merch store, and some other good things that I'm gonna sneak in there just for you. With that being said, I really appreciate it. I know you could be literally anywhere on the internet and you've chosen to be here, and for that I wanna say thank you one more time. Don't forget to hit the button. They got these things for you, and until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.